have time for everything. Let me get a couple of these calls in real quick. And then we're going to get Harmon's position on healthcare, because I'm sure Marcy Winograd has something to say about that. Marilyn, welcome to the Mike Malloy Show.
Hello?
Oh, Marilyn,
Hello?
calling from L.A. You're on the air. What's up, Marilyn?
Hi. I saw the movie, and it was fabulous. And there's also some, it's gut-wrenching, too, because you realize that's really what's happened. And so it's brilliantly funny, but there's a very serious message. After the movie, my friend and I walked past the Federal Building in Westwood, which is just like a block away from there. And there was a huge protest going on there with Iranians, and it was so alive. And I would just like to ask all of you what we do to wake up the Americans to care. I was emailing with somebody who's involved in election protection today who was saying people here are concerned about a stolen election there, and they don't care about them here. And, I spend my life doing this, and I know you people do too. How do we wake people up so that they care? Maybe Big Pharma has everybody too drugged. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thanks for the call, Marilyn. Appreciate it. Who wants to take that? Mimi?
Well, we didn't go out in the streets. We're a really big country, and we weren't given the facts. So, the guy, it was 4 years ago, and the guy who got into power because the election was fudged with is the guy that the media wanted. And so there was a real clampdown. And I also think America is going through tremendous stress financially. And it's been going on long before this meltdown. And people are scrambling and in debt, and they're trying to raise their children. And we can't necessarily go out in the streets. And all the kids in the universities, if you just had NYU and everybody around New York City, you might see what we've got in Tehran. But the other thing I was thinking driving here is the religious component is interesting. They're holding up there's a culture, and you see this in nonviolence everywhere, when there's a more homogeneous culture, when the thing is pressed, the nonviolent civil disobedience can have a kind of a moral underpinning that everybody understands. And I love our country. We're very diverse. But until we get down to the dignity of human life, all human life, we're not going to have our moral underpinning to send us into the streets yet. We're too divided.
Marcy Winograd, I know you've been a big election...
I would echo that. I just wanted to add one comment to what Mimi said, and that is that I think that there is great potential in our youth. And I look around at what happened in Los Angeles with these budget cutbacks and the mass terminations of teachers, and how students joined with teachers. I mean, I was on these marches, marching over to the district headquarters to demand that their teachers at hard-to-staff schools be maintained, be kept, be retained, because we know that schools like the one that I work at, which is at Crenshaw High School, they stand to really lose when you lay off hard-to-staff schools, lay off teachers at hard-to-staff schools. And some of those layoffs were rescinded, a substantial number. Not all of them, not as many as we had hoped, but there were some victories along the way. And I do think that there is great hope in our youth, and that we have to turn our attention to them.
And I want to get one more call in here, but Marcy, I want to give you credit because you've been a great election integrity advocate, as has Mimi and Progressive Democrats of America. But I know you went up, I think, was it in 05 or 06, and tried to make a citizen's arrest on the former Republican Secretary of State in California.
Mimi and I were in the hall of the Secretary of State's building demanding accountability for having approved these Diebold touchscreen machines and software we knew was highly hackable, and we were out there and demanding that we talk to him. Of course, he didn't address us, but we had our life-size citizen's arrest warrant.
We could use an election integrity advocate in Congress, a serious one, and you've paid your dues there, so thank you for that. Let me see if I can get Jeff in from La Habra real quick. Jeff, can you give it to it in about 15 seconds?
Yeah, I just want to say how lucky the people in the 36th district are to have someone like Marcy running. I mean, someone who's progressive like that out here, and I live out in La Habra, and we don't have any progressives here hardly even to vote. So I'm so jealous of the people in the 36th district.
Thanks for the call, Jeff.
Move.
Move, yeah.
36th district.
And we've got we've got to help you get there this time, frankly, to make it a contest. How'd you do against? You ran in 2008 against Harman.
In 2006, I ran against Jane Harman.
Yeah, 2006.
I jumped in 3 months before the election, Brad. And in those 3 months, I was able to mobilize 37.5%, almost 38. Hey, if you want to stretch it, almost 40% of the vote.
In the primary, yeah.
3 months. So we know that we can do it, right?
Yep.
We have a whole year to organize, to really decide who's going to take what neighborhood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How involved do you want to be? Because if we want to see change, that change starts with you at the grassroots level. It has to. Like I said, we don't have the money to compete on that level, nor would we want to. We want buy-in of a different kind that is real, you know.
Bless you.
This is about the people.
We want to help you make it real. Check out Marcy Winograd at Winograd for the number 4 Congress.com. Winograd for Congress.com. We've got the links at BradBlog.com. That might be easier to find out, to remember. Mimi Kennedy is new film is In the Loop. Check out her website, pdamerica.org. Oh, it's a progressive hour around here. Marcy, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the race.
Great to be with you and Mimi.
God bless you for all you're doing.
Marcy.
All of your listeners to get involved. I don't care where you live. We have jobs for you.
There you go. Winograd for Congress.com.
La Habra will get progressive too. With
All
Jeff
right.
there.
Listen, good work. And keep an eye out for In the Loop. It's a terrific film. Very funny. Mimi, thanks for joining me in the studio here.
Always
You're
great
awesome.